The manga began 25 years ago in the pages of Weekly Shonen Jump. A teenager who could see ghosts picking up a sword he didn't understand. 10 years ago, that story ended, and it ended in a way that left an entire fan base feeling robbed. Rushed pacing, fights compressed into single pages, an ending that felt like it was racing the clock instead of finishing the story it built for over a decade. That's the wound Bleach has been quietly healing since 2022. On July 25th, it closes for good. This is part 4, The Calamity. 13 episodes, the final stretch of the manga animated at last, with Kubo Sensei himself still in the room, still shaping exactly how this ends. Here's what's actually coming. Part 3, the conflict ended with the Wandenreich crushing what was left of the Soul Society's defenses. Reinforcements finally arrived in Isshin Kurosaki and Ryuken Nishida, and we got the reveal fans had been begging for since Uryu first turned his bow on his own allies. His loyalty to Yawak was always a lie. He stands with Ichigo. That's where Calamity picks up. Yawak breaks the royal palace, he shatters Squad Zero's Bankai like it was an afterthought, and walks straight into the Ryo Greater Palace, the throne room of the Soul King. Here is the part that should genuinely unsettle you if you know where this goes. Ichibe Hyosube gives Ichigo and his allies one job: protect the Soul King, and Yawak turns that single act of protection into the trap that ends everything. His deception leads Ichigo to strike the Soul King down with his own hands, and that one moment triggers the collapse of all three worlds. Let that sit for a second. The hero doesn't fail to stop the villain's plan. He becomes the instrument of it. Now the part you actually clicked for. Kisuke Urahara finally releases his Bankai on screen. Something the fandom has speculated about since part 1 premiered back in 2022. He and Yoruichi go up against Askin Nakk Le Vaar, one of Yawak's elite Schutzstaffel, and by every early account, this is not a fight where the support characters get an easy win, and Grimmjow is back in the same battle. Whichever side of the Soul Reaper vs Espada debate you landed on, that name alone is enough to break the internet for a week. All of it builds toward one final assault. The war welt, the royal palace itself twisted into a Wandenreich fortress, where the 13 court guard squads and the surviving Quincy make their last stand. And Ichigo finally faces both Uryu's true intentions and the full terrifying weight of Yawak's almighty. Here's the context that separates this from a normal season premiere. 2026 is Bleach's 25th anniversary as a manga and the 10th anniversary of its original controversial ending. This wasn't a quiet release. Pierrot Films ran limited theatrical screenings of the first 3 episodes across the US in late June in both subbed and dubbed format, and those screenings reportedly pulls in millions at the box office before a single frame hit streaming. And this is not how you treat a niche property winding down. This is how a studio treats the actual end of an era. The Calamity premieres July 25th at 7:30 AM Pacific, streaming on Hulu in the US and Disney Plus internationally. 13 episodes to close a story 25 years in the making. So, here is the real question. After everything Yawak has taken, after Ichigo becomes the one who strikes down the Soul King with his own hands, how does anyone walk away from this with an ending that actually earns its peace? We're about to find out.